Hello and welcome to Sports Update on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. We've got a lot of stories making the rounds in the world of sport this lovely Thursday evening in the city of Abuja. It's actually, let me not say it, a cold weather, but it's looking good. The weather is clear and glooming in the capital of the great country, Nigeria. Okay, we'll be starting from charity begins at home, but this time around the home we want to begin from will be going straight to Europe. He's our son, he's our brother, he's our friend and a colleague to so many. I'm not a footballer, but he's a colleague to all of the footballers out there who is playing for Nigeria and various clubs in Europe and in the MPFL. That is Victor Osimhen now. Aurelio De Laurentiis, the president of Napoli, saying no problem with Victor Osimhen signing a new contract. Now, the president has threw his weight behind Victor Osimhen after that TikTok video saga where he was being mocked after he missed a penalty against Bologna in the Italian Serie A, and a video popped up on their social media app, TikTok precisely, using coconut. You know what, when you call somebody coconut head here in this part of the world, in Nigeria, you already know what it means. And Victor Osimhen didn't really like that incident, and it caused a lot of issues between Victor Osimhen and then the club management, to the extent that his manager, that's Victor Osimhen manager, was making a move, would have moved to sue Napoli for that incident. And a lot of persons, even our own sports minister, that is Senator John Enowa, stepped into the matter to look at it. And then seriously, for Napoli, this is not a good one at all for a man who actually stuck out his neck to see how they won the Italian Serie A, that the Scudetto, after how many years, more than 3 decades, and now they won the Scudetto. Osimhen was not just the highest goal scorer for Napoli, but also the highest goal scorer for the league and the second highest goal scorer in Europe last season. And for them to have actually put up that video, no matter what they meant with it, even though it was a joke, that was an expensive joke. Okay, I have Ayola Adeleke all the way from Benin City joining me again on the program Sports Update this lovely evening. Ayola, straight to Italy, where Laurentiis has said for Victor Osimhen signing a new contract, there's no problem after all the TikTok video saga. And Victor Osimhen, well, is he going to sign that contract? Is left for him. But now the president has said signing a new contract is not an issue at all. Do you go with that?
Yeah, good evening, and thanks for having me on the show this evening. But let's talk about Victor Osimhen. For me, I think it's a very complicated issue here. You ask yourself, what does the player himself want? And that's a very big question that many people should be asking. But talking about the attitude of Napoli towards the guy, in all honesty, I'm not trying to make a case for Napoli here, but being a social media handler of a particular club myself, I know what we do come under so many times. Pressure, people talking to us, saying a lot of things about us, not even knowing what we are going through. There was a time I put up a particular animal, on our social media platform, and people started calling me, telling me, oh, that is wrong against the animal kingdom or whatever. So I just have to just apologize and move on. But on a normal day, people would have said probably I was trying to taunt animal or do whatever. So in the case of Victor Osimhen and the handler of their social media manager putting up a coconut, in all honesty, although we have come out to realize that it is a very derogatory word, not even being derogatory, saying that I'm coconut for losing. Nobody will call himself a coconut for missing, either for failing examination, or not even the handler himself would have called himself a coconut, because calling yourself a coconut is like you are not existing. So that's a very bad one, and thank God that they have asked him to step aside. And for the owner of the club, or the chairman of the club, coming out, the Laurentiis coming out to say that there is no problem in Osimhen signing new contracts, I think in Laurentiis' mind there is no problem. But who is Osimhen dealing with loan? He has to do with the fans some other people in the team and all that. So, for me, I think what Osimhen just needs to do is talk to his management, look for a better team, probably in Europe or wherever he feels that it's okay for him to go to until January. In all honesty, that's what I would advise him to do.
Okay. Now, the manager of their social media handle, that's the person leading that social media handle, has eventually resigned. Is that enough coming in from Napoli? And they put out a statement trying to, it was more or less, to me, a defensive statement where they said they never meant to mock Victor Osimhen. They never meant any harm. Trying to defend, they were just playing around the issue. They never wanted to say, okay, come out publicly and say, we are sorry for putting out that video on TikTok. So do you think Napoli has actually handled this issue? What they did, is it enough? And for Victor Osimhen, was his own, if the body language of Victor Osimhen right now, is he still interested in playing for Napoli? Well, after that game over the weekend, he came out to thank Nigerians who stood by him, everybody, the ministers, the sports development minister here, then the fans in Napoli. Actually, the fans stood by Victor Osimhen, and when they defeated Lecce 4-0 it ended, he was able to score a goal, and he thanked everybody who stood by him during that incident. But for Napoli, are you okay with how they've handled the whole saga?
Well, to be sincere with you, yeah, I'm not happy with the way they handled the matter. You don't need to beat around the bush. You just have to come out clearly, mainly, and apologize to whatever you must have done that is wrong, which I think they didn't do straightforward. They were trying to do it, but they didn't do it in the right way. They are making a case for a man who resigned. The man has resigned. There's nothing wrong in me just coming out saying we are sorry for what has happened. The man himself has taken responsibility by resigning from his position. But it is what it is. We can't just keep on deceiving ourselves. We know how some of these people, not all of them actually, how some of them do feel about blacks and all that. But the good thing is the fans have showed support for him, and he himself has reciprocated by scoring a goal, for the team. He says a lot about where his heart is, and he says a lot about what he can get better. He has scored 64 goals for the team, and I think he can still make it 100 before leaving there. That would also be another landmark for him. And but as I rightly said earlier, if I were to be him, if he is to be my brother, what I would advise him on is by January, find another club in Europe that you think you can go to, or go to another part of the world where you feel will be okay for you. By then, they should have handed in his African Footballer of the Year, all things being equal. I'm not saying it shouldn't be ambitious.
Okay. All right. For Napoli, they need to do more in respect of
health to be stabilized and.
Okay, and where he will actually get his peace of mind. Okay, let's leave the Syria, let's leave Napoli and go straight to Zurich. We are going straight to the FIFA headquarters in Switzerland. Now, it's a good thing, and we are full of smiles that the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup, now, the FIFA has moved this step by increasing the number of teams that will be participating in the next FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup that will be coming up in Colombia. And this tournament started in 2002 with 16 teams format, and now they've increased that number from 16 to 24 teams, and we know that the Falconets have 2 times finalists of this particular tournament in 2011 and 2014, and both finals were lost to Germany in both finals. But now they've increased, and next year's tournament will be from August to September. Ayola, now I think FIFA is doing everything they can to see how they can revamp and then increase women's football awareness. Ayola, are you there?
Yeah, I love the audio. Please, could you come with your last statement there?
Is that? Okay, I said FIFA is trying.
Your last word.
Okay, FIFA is trying to see how they can improve on women's football now by increasing the number of teams that will be participating in the 2024 Under-20 Women's World Cup, and then a date has actually been fixed. Colombia is the host country of their tournament. The last edition was won by Spain. So with this move from FIFA, what's your pulse about it?
Yeah, I'm very happy with this. I'm excited that FIFA are taking every possible step to ensure that they make football more appealing and more appealing to people to watch. And not only that, one, they are trying to balance the gender inequality, making everybody, feel the same. And the fact that we have the under-20 boys or under-20 men having it increased to about 24 teams. The same thing should apply to the women as well. And we can see from what happened at the last Women's World Cup and what we are seeing from different women's league across Europe, especially in the English Women Super League, we can see that the love for women football is increasing by the day. We can also see some other meaningful steps being taken by Nigerian NWFL. So for FIFA increasing the teams in FIFA Women's World Cup under 20, I think it's a very good one. It is to give more countries opportunity to participate in this one. Like 16, having 24 now, that means we're going to have additional 18, and that should also be additional slot for Africa as well. So for me, I think that's a welcome development, and we can't wait for 2024 to see how things will develop. So I'm very happy with what FIFA is doing.
Yes, happy with what FIFA is doing, trying to balance everything, gender equality. That is what FIFA is now looking at. Africa will go with 4 teams. Europe normally will have the highest number of teams. Europe will come with 5, Africa 4. The Oceania will come with 1. The Asian will come with, I think, 2. And then every other continent will come with 1. Europe normally have the highest number of teams in all of the FIFA competition. And we know why it's like that. In the FIFA World Cup, that's for men, Europe comes with 13, but now that we'll be having more than 32 teams, Europe will still come with the highest number of teams to the World Cup. That's for the men. Okay, let's move away from that story. Still in Zurich, staying with FIFA. This time around is a good news for Africa, and Morocco is now becoming the hub of where tournaments are being hosted yearly, monthly, but not daily. Daily is their league. But this time around, Morocco, Spain, Portugal will be the host of 2030 World Cup. And the surprising thing about the 20th World Cup is a centenary, and the first 3 games will be played in Uruguay in the CONMEBOL. But 6 countries will be hosting the World Cup. We cut across how many continents, because Uruguay, that was where the first ever FIFA World Cup was played, and now I think games will be hosted in that particular stadium that was used for the opener in the first ever FIFA World Cup. Now, for Africa, well, it's going to be the second time that an African country will be hosting the World Cup. But this time around, Morocco will co-host with Portugal, Spain, Morocco, and then the centenary games will be in Uruguay, Argentina, as you can see on your screen. Now, Ayola, I think FIFA is doing everything they can to see how they can rebrand football.
FIFA is rebranding football daily, and we must commend those guys who are behind this innovation. We must be sincere with that one, and we must give them their flowers. They are doing fantastically well. And the good thing is Africa is not left out. This is the second time we've seen World Cup on the soil of Africa after 2010 in South Africa, and Morocco is coming on board. Morocco have been bidding for World Cup for as long as I know. I remember this particular processed meal we buy back then. It has always been written on the body. Morocco 2006, Morocco 2006, canvassing for hosting. But this time around now, they are there. They have everything that they need to host the FIFA World Cup. Morocco is the hub of football in Africa today. We cannot take that away from that one in facilities, in hospitality, in road networks, be it security. Everything is fine in Morocco. I've been there. I saw how things are over there, and I saw facilities there. And giving them now to host with Spain and Portugal says a lot about their capacity. They are not far from each other. You can by way by waterway, the same way you can enter Benin Republic from Nigeria. And good to also see that we'll be seeing it in Uruguay, where it all started in 1930. Having a gameplay there. I think it's also going to be taking place in Argentina and Paraguay as well. That's a very big one, meaning that we'll be seeing World Cup played in 6 countries, the 3 continents, Africa, South America, and Europe. That's a very good one. For FIFA, please take your flowers.
Okay, that's a very good one. And for FIFA, we love this move. The centenary games will go on in Uruguay, Argentina, and Paraguay. Good one. 6 continents will be hosting the 2030 World Cup. Fantastic one. And we know in 2030, the number of teams that will be participating will increase, beginning from, well, the increase of teams will start from the next World Cup. Also is a 3-country host, that is USA. It will be hosted in USA, and then the CONMEBOL will be joining the United States in hosting the 2026 World Cup. Okay, let's leave FIFA and come back to Europe. Though FIFA headquarters is in Europe, so let's stay in Europe. But now we will leave Zurich and talk about the second tier of the UEFA Champions League. There were games in UEFA Champions League last night, and now we have the continuation of some games in the Europa League as we speak. Some games are already ongoing, but in Group E, we have Liverpool will be taking on Union Saint-Gilloise of Belgium. We have the French outfit Toulouse. We welcome Lens. In Group F, we have Maccabi Haifa against the Greece giant Panathinaikos. We have Villarreal against Rennes of France. And then in Group G, we have Roma against Servette, Slava Prague against Sheriff Tiraspol. And then in Group H, we have Haken against Karabakh. And then the Modo, another Norwegian team. We welcome our own Victor Boniface team, Bayern Leverkusen from Germany. Now, Ayola will talk about 2 games, but let's start with our own Nigerian brothers game, Molde against Bayer Leverkusen. That game, Victor Boniface is on fire. He's fired up for this particular game. The last time out in their first opener of the season in Europe, he was able to score a brace.
Yeah, Victor Boniface, just as his name, Victor, more like replicating what Victor Osimhen is doing over there in Italy. He's also doing his own in Germany for Bayern or for Leverkusen, and that is a very good one for him. I can see that he's on fire, and he definitely should have his hand in this one. Mode, no disrespect to them, not a good side, not a bad side. But for them to have been in UEFA Europa League says a lot about their capacity as well from the country's league. But at the same time, I feel Bayern offer could do something big against them. And our boy should not be left out, Victor Boniface. I love the way they call his name at the stadium anytime he scores for them. And I want to hear that sound once again. So I'm tipping him to go all out and get a goal for us, at least a goal.
Yes, you are tipping him to go all out and get a goal tonight. As we speak, some games are already going on, and we can tell you that some games tonight, some teams will laugh, while some will just hold their faces and go back to the drawing board and see how they can better their lot next time. Then the second game we'll talk about quickly is the game of Liverpool against Union Saint-Gilloise at Anfield. In a few moments from now, that game is already up as we speak. Liverpool against Union Saint-Gilloise.
Yeah, a very good one for Liverpool. They are back in the Europa League after many years in the Champions League. This Europa League they played also before getting out of the Champions League when they were rebuilding themselves. And their coach talked about them playing in this one. He said that they're going to give all their best. And, as the game is going on, I won't be surprised if they'll be getting a goal before we end this show this evening. But for St. Gilloise, no disrespect to them as well. They did well last season. I think they got to the quarterfinals of the UEFA competition they participated in, and facing against Liverpool. Liverpool must be very careful, although they are playing at Anfield. But I still feel that the Anfield atmosphere as this game is going on will definitely overwhelm Union St. Gilloise. But in all, I'm taking Liverpool to go all out and get convincing victory in this one.
Yes, these games are big for 8 p.m. Nigerian time. Okay, let's leave these games and quickly let's go to this third tier now of the European competition, that's the UEFA Conference League. Let's look at some fixtures also in the Conference League. We gave you some fixtures in the morning sports, and now we also have fixtures for the evening sports. Now let's look at Group E, continuation of where we left it in the morning. Aston Villa against Zrinski Mostar, and then we have XZ Akma against Liga Warsaw. In Group F, we have Fiorentina against Ferencvarosi TC, and then we have FK Kukarisiki against KRC Genk, and then in Group G, we have Aberdeen of Scotland against HJK Helsinki, and then we have PAOK Salonika of Greece against Eintracht Frankfurt of Germany, and then we have FC Nordsjælland of Norway against Ludogorets of Ludogorets Razgrad, and then we have Spartak Trnava against Fenerbahce of Turkey. Now these are games lined up in the Europa Conference League. Ayola, for Aston Villa, they are in Europe. So far so good. They've not disappointed themselves. They've not disappointed their fans. And they are still doing well in the EPL. But the game tonight against Zrinjinski Mostar, what's your take, and what do you see with Aston Villa? They are playing at Villa Park.
Yeah, Aston Villa have got a very good coach, Emery. Must not take that away from him. He's been with bigger clubs before this team, and now he's been doing wonders. Let's say, and was giving kudos. As we actually said earlier, they've not disappointed us so far from the first game, and now we expect them to also do well. They are playing at the Villa Park, and this is a very strong place where we have lousy fans that can cheer you to victory, chant you to success. And the Zrinjinski Monster. No disrespect to them, but I feel they won't be able to do anything against Aston Villa. So, not like English Day, though it's not a league I watch so much, but I'll be supporting Aston Villa to go up 3 against Zrinjinski Monster.
Yeah, you'll be supporting Aston Villa to go all the way out against Mostar at Villa Park. But if you look at it, my happiness, let's quickly talk about Nigerian players playing in all of this competition. The likes of Victor Osimhen in Champions League, the second Victor in Europa League, and we have also this guy from Atlanta. We have him playing in the Europa League. We have other Nigerian players. We have Gift Urban in Gent playing also in Europe. Now, if you look at all of Nigerian players playing the European competition, what's your feeling? Because the last time out, we have this number of Nigerian players playing in the European competitions where, let's say, 3 seasons ago, we don't have much of them playing their trade in big clubs. What's the turning point for us?
Yeah, the turning point is, firstly, our players are improving, and as they are improving, clubs are also running after them. It says a lot about how good they have come. You know, they have become in the short while. Victor Osimhen, of course, the hottest striker in Africa. I cannot call him in Europe for now for some reasons, and for Gift Urban, he made good account of himself last season, and this season also he hasn't disappointed. He's been doing fine for Victor Boniface. He's also doing fine for the country. Ademola Lookman also for Atlanta, not a very bad player. He's also been scoring goals for them. So I think the more the players get better, the more we be called or be bought by bigger clubs in Europe, and then we also be competing in bigger field of the competition. So it's more like when you do well, you get good rewards for it. But for me, for their performances so far, I must give it to them. They've been representing the green, right, green flag very well.
Okay, very well. We're doing the right thing as it stands. All of these games are tonight, even the one we mentioned in the morning show. So they are tonight games. Go out there, enjoy yourself with any of the game. Lukman Haruna will be in the lineup for Atlanta from Italy. Okay, that is where we'll leave it on Sports Update this evening. Ayola, thanks for joining me on the show Sports Update. You've done a wonderful job.
Thanks for having me as usual.
All right, that is it on Sports Update. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. Thanks for watching.